Welcome to our 5-star call. The months that we have 5 weeks, it kind of throws us off because we don't get to see each other for a little bit longer period of time, but really excited that everyone is joining us today. We actually have a lot of new friends on our call today, people who I don't think have done a momentum call with us before. I know Penny and Lakin, Tammy, that might be all, but we're super excited to have you guys and also everyone else who was able to jump on. So tonight we are going to hear from some of our 5-star friends, and we're going to first hear from Priscilla. So Priscilla is a client who has been in the program for 6 weeks now, and I asked her if she would just kind of share with us a few things about her experience the last 6 weeks. So Priscilla, are you where you can chat?
Yes, I do have a crying baby in the background, but she's okay. Don't worry, she's okay.
Okay. Okay, so first I wanted to ask the question we always ask is, why did you end up getting started and saying yes to 5-star in the beginning?
Mostly it was to get my health in order, and I have 2 little girls that I need to chase after and also be a good role model for. So number 1, it was health, and then number 2, obviously, just because I wanted to look better.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're so glad that you're here. What was one of the things that you were scared about?
That it was going to be hard, that I was going to be hungry. I'm sorry.
She's not happy. Should we come back? Is there hope for her?
I'm not sure what's gonna. Maybe if I sit down with her. Okay.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. We'll come back to you. Okay.
Okay.
I really want to hear your story. Okay. We'll come back. Oh, bless everyone. All of you mothers know how that goes. Okay, let's switch gears. Priscilla, we're going to come back and hear the rest of your story. So Scarlett, you're in the hot seat tonight as well. And so I think Katie's got some good questions for you about your journey. So we want to kind of hear from you too. So go ahead, Katie.
Well, I was gonna let Christy lead this part unless she's having bad connection. Christy, can you come through?
I can hear them, but that's it.
Hello.
She looks paused. Oh,
Christy, maybe turn your camera off? You know how that helps with streaming?
Yeah, it's Brent's face. I'm so sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna let you take over with Scarlett.
Okay, Scarlett, I love your shirt. Scarlett, start us off with an aloha.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, start us off with an aloha.
Oh, aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
there you go.
I love your bright colors. So Scarlett, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of Scarlett. I'm so sorry that you have to see Brent's face talking to you. So just act like it's Christy, okay? We are just so proud of you, Scarlett, and we're so proud of like your progress so far. So same question as Brittany, of what intrigued you most about 5-star, and what was that one most, I've got to dive in and do the 5-star transformation program?
So through my journey of like wellness and fitness, I've tried a lot of different programs that I couldn't stay consistent with. And a lot of it revolved around me just being by myself and doing it by myself. And so Katie actually was the one that introduced me to this a few years ago. And kind of like when COVID first happened and things kind of happened, I really wasn't trying to commit to something new because all the excuses, right? All the excuses came through, all the different reasons I kept making. And so this year or last year I decided to become sober, and through that process I've come more clear on what I want out of life and how I want to live my life. And so in January, Katie's like, let's do this. And I was like, okay, I'm done making excuses. I'm done lying to myself, like, okay, I'm going to start on Monday, or I'm going to start after the holiday, or just, I kept telling myself all these things. And I'm in my early 30s and I've come from a really athletic background, and I can't do that anymore. Like, I really need to get back on top of things and be a good example for my kids.
So far, so now we're all intrigued, like, okay, so what kind of results have you gotten? Like, obviously I know the results you've gotten, but tell everyone about results that are not only pounds, maybe you inches, maybe, you know, changes in your face, clothing, emotional changes, physical changes. Tell us all the changes so far.
Oh man, there's been so many exciting things, and just to kind of see myself like almost evolve into a different person, a more healthier, happier. Like, I'm a lot more happier, I'm a lot more brighter. I look forward to my meals. I have a small selection, so that really helps, just having such a simple meal plan, and just staying on top of that, really being strict with it, having that communication with the 5-star. Everything like really played into me wanting to have these results. Like, I know what I want. My goal was to be a certain weight by the summertime. And in the past few months, I kind of let myself down. I had a couple moments where I broke down and I had donuts, and I called Katie, or I texted her, and I was like, girl, I don't know what happened. Like, I was doing so well, and I just had this moment of weakness. And after that, I was like so disappointed, and I felt sick. I felt so sick. And so after that moment, I knew that I wanted better for myself and changed my eating habits. My skin has just been a lot clearer. I had really bad like red spots, blotchiness everywhere. My clothes fit so much better. Like, I thought I was a large, but I guess I wasn't a large, and I was an actual extra large. And so no wonder my clothes were so tight. And so over this process, my clothes that I put away last summer that barely even fit me are like big on me. And to me, that was a really big success, because I don't want to buy new clothes for the summer. Like, I want to fit into those clothes I had from last summer. They're still good, you know? I've noticed a difference in my hormones. Like, when I get my period, I don't even know it's coming, which was really surprising to me and kind of caught me by surprise. Normally I get cramps. I normally have a breakout, some kind of breakout, which is why I like just eating cleaner, because my face has gotten a lot cleaner. And that's pretty much it that I've really noticed. That's been excited changings for me along this like journey.
So of course we want to know how many pounds you've lost.
I am at 19 pounds right now, but I'm not at the end of my 3 months yet. So I still have some time left.
And overall,
Go ahead.
once you started like honing, once you started like honing, you knew was good for you food wise, you know, just committing at a deeper level, has it seemed harder, or has it seemed easier?
It's so much easier, and I make the time. I went the route of being like plant-based, because I know like it's just for me, I'm all about time. Like, I have little ones, and I have a lot going on in my life, and so I need something for me that's just more convenient and quick. And so just having that quick meal, limited meals, limited portions, like all that has been a learning process through the 5-star program that I've learned through. We do like challenges every month. And I learned about, you know, having a smaller selection of food, and that really helps with the intake. And so I've noticed a big difference with that.
Awesome. And then here, I have my camera on finally. And then moving forward, if you were to tell someone that's interested in 5-star, of like, if they're nervous in starting, or if they're nervous to start, you know, go sober, or really like dig deep into their goals, what would you tell them? Because you know how scary it is to commit. And that's
Oh.
why we hesitate, right? We hesitate.
It was really scary. And I think I would just tell them, like, what do you really like? What do you want out of life? Like, you don't think about anybody else, because we're so quick to think about like our kids, right? You know, being here for our kids, but it's like, we need to focus on what we want. What do you want for your life? How do you want to feel every morning you wake up, after every meal? How do you want to feel? Do you want to have energy at the end of the day, which is my increase of energy? Like, I don't take naps anymore. I don't feel the urge to take naps. I don't need coffee, but I have it every once in a while to help me. Like, how do you want to feel every morning when you wake up and when you go to bed? And that's a reflection too with your kids. You know, however you start to live your life and that whole cycle begins, your kids will fall into that line. And that's also a whole nother story and exciting process.
Yes, that is an exciting process. Okay, bonus question that's going to lead us into another part to this call is I challenged you to start sharing your story more and finding a platform more, which right now you shared your story. In fact, I didn't know you chose to go sober. That's awesome. That's another part to your story. So there's just kind of tune in to, as you guys listen to people's testimonials of little key points. And these are our stories, and knowing your story, knowing why you're doing something, exactly what Scarlett just said, knowing why we want to feel better, knowing what we want in life, knowing why we're doing what we're doing. And you'll start to get little bits of your story. We all have a story. Everyone on this call right now has a story. And starting to share that story can feel scary, but it's also life-changing. So as you've started to share your story more, I want to know how it's up-leveled your commitment.
Oh, I feel like it motivates myself to just do what I want to do. And like, there's no hesitation. Like, I don't think twice about rejecting stuff. I don't think twice. Like, we went out over the weekend and the whole menu was like crap. And I had water and I got a small house salad with, I put lemon juice on it, and that was, I squeezed lemon on it, and that was it, you know, like, and I'm comfortable. And that was the first commitment, was being comfortable with what I was eating. And that kind of opened up everything else. But it was really scary. Sharing it was really scary, but it motivated me to just jump into it.
And the cool part is Scarlett hasn't even shared her full story. She's just shared little bits. She's just shared, it's just being open and willing to almost say to the world, like, I'm working on me. So just take note of Scarlett's story. Maybe check her out on social media. We're loving how she's sharing a little more. And then that's going to lead into other parts that we're going to talk about on the call today. But I've noticed how it's just a couple posts, and it doesn't always have to be on social media. It could just be here on Zoom in this group, but it really up-levels your experience. And not only will it help you increase your fat loss, but it will commit you that much more. But then for maintenance, it also, because it starts creating this identity around us of our new lifestyle and our new identity. So thank you so much, Scarlett, for all that you've shared, and for putting your story out there, because I know it's going to change hundreds, thousands of lives.
Thank you.
Thank you. Megan, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat because I know you'll love me either way. I want you to share just real quick, because Megan and her husband did the program a few months ago. Then there were a lot of stressful emotional things that happened in their life, kind of like all back to back at the same time. So it was just too much to try and, you know, stay in the group. But I want you just to kind of share, you don't have to go in depth, but like when you stopped having the accountability of 5-star, kind of what happened, and then what made you want to come back to the group, like that structure. Kind of tell me the things that went through your guys' heads there.
Well, I can tell you, it helps to have a backstory. So in October of 2020, Sean's dad passed away. In January of 21, his mom broke her leg and she moved in with us. And that's when we started the program last year. And then Memorial Day of last year, we found out his mom had breast cancer and she passed away about 3 or 4 weeks later. And so trying to get everything settled and everything, just, it was too hard to try and do anything. So after ending the program, we tried to stick with it, with the eating habits as much as we did, but the accountability really wasn't there. And so we found that we went right back to our old eating habits. It was easier to go out to eat. It was easier to, I mean, with the emotions and stuff, sometimes it was easier just to eat the crap food because that's how we were feeling, was like crap. But we both realized it took some time, but we both gained all of the weight back, and all of the symptoms that we had got rid of, my joint pain, Sean's low back pain, all of that stuff actually came back fairly quickly. I was really surprised of us starting back on sugar and flour. The tiredness, the not wanting to do anything, it really just, within probably 3 or 4 weeks of after stopping, I felt like we started feeling that process going away.
Wow. Yeah, that just shows us how much, the things we're putting into our body really do make a difference. And so, not only is this program about weight loss and how we look, but, how we feel. And I think more so sometimes people notice those changes so much more, right, than even like how they look. They're losing weight, yes, but they're like, I can't believe I feel so good. So anyway, I appreciate you sharing that story, and Sean, you as well, just where there's lots of pieces of your personal story in there. But I know that the accountability of the 5-star program is what makes it successful. And that is a huge reason why our clients, all of you, are making so much progress, is because you're committing to yourself, but you're also putting your story out there. Like, Scarlett, we were talking about with you, because when you talk to people about what you're doing, it's just another layer of mental accountability for you. And so when my clients go into maintenance, when they've reached their right size body, it's really advantageous and something that we offer here in 5-star for you guys to still be involved and still come on the calls or still check in every week. And I still shoot messages here and there, like, how are you doing? Are you staying on track? Because it's really important to surround yourself with people who are living a similar lifestyle that you are and are supporting your goals. So we're really excited to have you guys back with us, and I'm grateful for you sharing. So thank you. Okay, I am going to have Katie. There she is. Katie is going to share with us some really neat things that she's been learning about accountability. And I believe that we had a couple of her clients who were going to share. So Katie, I'll let you kind of introduce them. Oh, muted.
Thank you.
Yep.
I had to switch to my phone because my Wi-Fi died. But anyway, I think I'm going to talk just a little bit about it before I have Kristen Toon share with us. She's on the call because she actually told me to read this book. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys, but anyway, it's Relentless Solution Focus, and it's written by a sports psychologist. He's actually a performance coach, and I'm just going to read his bio real quick. It's Dr. Jason Selk. He's one of the nation's premier performance coaches. He's worked with business titans and superstar athletes. And he's been doing this for about 20 years. So I won't read the whole thing, but basically he was the performance coach for the St. Louis Cardinals. And they hadn't won the World Series for 24 years. And then they brought him on staff and they won the World Series. And they did that twice while he was working with the team. So I've really gotten into mindset, and especially for sports, just because my kids are all into that. My husband and I are both athletes, and with our oldest son, I shared this a few calls ago, but he really struggled with the mindset piece. Like, he would pull himself out of a game over when things weren't going well. And that's exactly what life can be like. And so I really dug into all of this all these books on mindset. And so when Kristen told me about this, I was like, okay, I don't know how many books I've read about that. I don't need that. But I trust Kristen. And so I started reading it and I'm like, I wish this was one of the first ones that I read. Like it's just so plain and simple, straightforward, and I love it. So one of the things, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but just as a quick summary, he talks about problem-centric thinking. And I've never had it explained this way to me just so simply, but basically, by nature, we are hardwired to scan the environment, to scan our surroundings, our life for problems. And back in the day, like our ancestor just needed that as a survival mechanism. And so naturally we look for problems. And so nowadays we don't have as many life-threatening situations. And so we start looking for problems that aren't necessarily problems, or we get on the problem loop and we're more focused on problems. And so basically, towards the end of the book, he talks about how important it is to, at the end of the day, as we are analyzing our day, how important it is to look for our wins and to give ourselves pats on the back. So he gives the example of an NFL kicker. He doesn't share the name to protect privacy, but he's one of the best NFL kickers. And back in high school, he got all kinds of kudos, all kinds of well dones. And then gradually, as he got better and perfected his craft, he would get less and less well dones. And he was extremely hard on himself. And so this guy who's making millions of dollars, extremely talented, extremely successful, is going to bed at night with anxiety and depression. And, you know, we hear about that, or I heard about that, and I was like, how does someone like that go to bed with anxiety and depression? But he had so much pressure because he had the perfectionist mindset. And so Dr. Selk, he worked with him on changing that perfectionist mindset to an improvement mindset. And so anytime you up level, it's extremely important to get away from the perfectionism and focus on the improvement. And so there's two questions that you can ask yourself every night. And that is, you know, look for 1 to 3 wins that you had throughout the day. And then also, what could you improve upon tomorrow? And I've been a mom for 18 years. But at the beginning, I would go to bed, I'd have these long to-do lists, and I'd go to bed and feel like a failure because I didn't get everything on them done. And so I started working on this with like a therapist of, you know, what did I get done today? Like, what are all the amazing things that I did accomplish? And that really helped with my anxiety. And it also helps with your momentum when you're looking for the progress that you're making versus having to be perfect. And so I started to implement this check-in with 2 of my clients. They're both doing awesome. One of them is Kristen. I'm going to have her share just her feedback on that and anything she wants to share about this concept that's talked about in Relentless Solution Focus. But basically, when we are focused on solution and improvement, our performance improves versus the all or nothing or the perfectionist mentality. And I know we talk about that all the time. So to me, when this was presented as far as like a check-in or accountability, I was like all over it. So basically what I've done, I've tweaked the check-in for the 5 stars because it's important to have, you know, the 5 stars because that's like a cheat sheet for fat loss. You know, if you do those 5 things, then you're going to get the best results. So we still use that form, but at the end, instead of sharing something positive for the day or an improvement that you noticed, we share in a group, just a small group, myself and 2 other ladies, 1 to 3 wins, and then something they're going to improve upon for the next day. And it literally takes like 1 minute. But I have seen huge improvement with Kristen. So I want her to share her thoughts on this. If you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, Kristen.
Hey, yeah, so I am somebody, I've talked a little bit in the past, right? I'm kind of a rebellious soul, and I will
Hey,
continue to,
Kristen,
yes,
do you have your funny headphones you could put on so we can hear you better? If
um,
not, that's okay. You're just a little bit quiet.
is that better? Did I move my hand?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just hold my hand like this. You get a weird shadow. Um, so I'm somebody who tends to be a self-sabotager of sorts and a little bit of a rebellious soul. And so I do great for a while and then I get super annoyed. And Katie is super patient with me. So that's amazing. And so I love this idea of focusing on like 1 to 3 wins every day. I have been facing like a pretty serious health concern for the last several months that just was kind of all consuming, like a heavy, heavy weight upon me. And so Katie was like, Kristen, now's the time. Let's jump in. Let's do this. And so I did. And what I've loved is that um, every day, if I miss a day, I'm feeling bad because I know that I've got someone there who's waiting for my response, who wants to know how I'm doing, who's cheering me on with my success as well. And so I love that notion. And it's what I do with my kids as well. What did you do well? We are our harshest critics and we tend to focus on all the things we didn't do or the things we're not enough of. So I love looking at like, okay, what's a couple things I'm doing well? And let's focus on that. And then how can I improve? And I think that's the amazing mindset shift for me. And within that book that I love is that there's always a solution to a problem, always. And too often we get so stuck on what the problem is that we don't look beyond it to see what part do we have. So some days my improvement is, you know what, I really need to plan. I'm on the road a lot with my kids, and if I fail to plan, then I'm not doing as well. So it just gives us that opportunity to look and to figure out how we need to adjust to become better. And ultimately, this is what we're striving to do in life. This is what we're striving to do as parents. This is what we're striving to do in the workplace, is to see how we're doing, our growth, right? Our gifts, our talents, acknowledge those, focus on those, and see how we can constantly improve and get better. So for me, it's been super helpful just to know that I have that accountability every day.
Thank you, Kristen, for sharing. Yeah, I'm glad that you talked about how important it is to give ourselves a pat on the back. I didn't finish talking about this, but you reminded me that so I told the story about the kicker and how he was getting less done wells from his coaches because it was just expected of him. But I feel like for me, I noticed this when I started parenting. Like when I would go to work and work as a nurse, a lot of people would say, thank you for, whether it was a shot of morphine or whatever else, for helping them, or even just like to use the bathroom or whatever. But you don't necessarily get any of that from your kids. And so that was like really hard for me. But Dr. Selt points out that we have to be the ones to give ourselves the done wells. And that actually rewires our brain to get off of the problem thinking and over to the solution side. And any type of improvement is a solution. So that's why it's so important. So I was going to share Jennifer's testimonial. She's doing awesome. But I can't play it. I was going to play it from my phone onto my laptop, but now I can't do that. But I will share it in Slack after this call, her testimonial with it. But I wanted to invite you guys, anyone who wants to up level their accountability, just reach out to your coach and we will set this up for you. Because honestly, like I'm almost 4 years in with this type of lifestyle, being consistent, and this and sharing my story is what's kept me going, like hands down. That's what got me out of the yo-yo dieting loop. So I just want to invite you guys, if you want to up level your accountability. I know there's different types of accountability that works for everyone, but this just up levels it a little bit more.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. So we've talked about a few levels of accountability, right? One is sharing your story holds you accountable. Another one is helping someone else hold you accountable. The other one is obviously utilizing your coach and little pods or groups like that, little accountability groups and partners to celebrate wins, talk about what you can improve upon. In the program, we have built-in accountability where you check in every day, we check in every week, we do coaching calls, right? So you can see how 5-star is built around accountability. Now, everyone responds to accountability in a little bit different way, but I will say that, as I kind of said earlier, the reason why people are successful is because they have layers of accountability built in. So if you feel like, you know, like Katie was saying, you want to do something like that where you have a partner, and you can, you know, it's kind of fun. I've done this in other areas of life, but you can kind of get to know them a little bit better too. So it's kind of fun if you team up and have someone. Obviously that's you and your coach, but it is kind of neat if you have other people in the program that you connect with and want to do that too. So I want to share a quick part of Priscilla's story because this really ties in. And she said her daughter is having a meltdown and she won't be able to get back on. But I'm going to share with you because when Katie's talking about these well dones, right? Well done. That's a dopamine hit, right? That's a dopamine hit for us. And in the past, we may have gotten a dopamine hit from food we're eating, or, you know, maybe different things we're seeing on social media, likes and whatever, right? We kind of understand dopamine, exercise, like all good things, some not good things, right? But the idea is that our brain responds to that dopamine and it says, ooh, I want to do that again, right? So if you can give yourself that well done and you celebrate in some way, you turn on your favorite song in your car and just like jam out, or you do a little dance, or you tell someone, you know, the great thing that you did, like that is just positive reinforcement. And that's giving you a dopamine hit. And then your body wants to do that again. So a quick story of Priscilla. Priscilla's been in the program 6 weeks. She's really done amazing. She's had a lot of events and parties and things that she's had to plan for, and she's done really well. The other night, I don't think she'd mind me telling you this because this is kind of what she was going to share, but the other night she was out with a friend and she texted me and said, I am struggling. I want this and this, and like I can't get it out of my head, and I keep seeing it everywhere. Like she was really craving and had a temptation, and she said, my friend I'm with doesn't know what I'm doing right now. Like she doesn't know about my lifestyle change and my goals. And so she had reached out to me, and obviously that's why I'm there as a coach. So we kind of talked about it. And she's like, tell me it's not worth it, you know? So we were just like going back and forth of you know, the scenario and different choices that she had. But I sent her a message with the confetti, you know, like the background confetti that you can send on the phone. And she messaged me back and she goes, oh my gosh, the confetti just did it for me. I'm not gonna have it. And I thought that was so cute, but also interesting for our human psychology, because it was something bright and showed that she was celebrating her wins. Because I said, you've lost this much weight, you feel this, you feel so good, like I know you can do this. And I sent it with confetti or something, right? And so I just thought that was something we need to keep in mind, that it does not have to be this big, huge thing. Honestly, it's just anything that triggers your brain to think, well done, right? And so I want you guys to, you know, maybe come up with a list of little ways that you can celebrate that don't revolve around food, right? Kind of like our joy list that we've made in the past. What are things that I enjoy? What are things that I can use to celebrate with that are not food, but will kind of give me that dopamine hit that I'm needing? So anyway, I thought that was a really great example, and maybe Priscilla can share it in person with us sometime, because I would love to hear her telling the story. But anyway, I want to just kind of ask you guys before we we move on here, what are some ways that you celebrate, and what have you found that works for you or makes sense? Because I think sometimes people are like, how am I supposed to celebrate? Like, is this, normally we associate celebrating with like going out, right? Or like going out with a friend or going out and eating food or whatever. But like, what are some ways? I know Tammy, one of our past clients, she would like dance, wouldn't she, Katie? She like loved to dance. She'd do these cute little dances. So I don't know, what have you guys found that it's like a celebration for you when you've done something good? Is it just verbal? Is it doing something that evokes emotion? Any thoughts there? Okay, Katie has a favorite song. I like that. I kind of think, yeah, the song, if we can evoke an emotion and connect it with a feeling, you're going to get a lot better results that way. So like the song, right? Every time you hear that song, you have a certain emotion. Same thing with an essential oil. If you smell an essential oil while you're feeling something, every time you smell that again, you'll have that memory, right? Because memory and smell are really closely connected. Texting friend, accountability partner. Yeah, Christy is the queen of gifts. GIFs? Gifts. How do you say it? GIFs?
Katie.
Gifts.
And oh, I was going to tell you too, I think it's gifts, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
In our solar company, we full on had like a bell that you have like at hockey games, ice hockey games. And when the morning, whoever like closed a cell, they would like get to come up and ring the bell, like full on ring the bell. And like, it literally like them walking to the front of the room and ringing the bell. So you guys, there's so much to, I learned it in a Tony Robbins conference, and it's when you want to change your habits and change and put new purpose behind why you do what you do, it's called a triad, and it's everything Brittany's talking about. And it's change your language. Languaging is huge. When you celebrate, change your language. Look at, are you saying the same things? Like, I fell off the bandwagon or whatever. Like, look at your language as you're changing. Make sure you're having a new languaging about a new set of language about yourself. Kind of like if you go to take medical terminology, it's a new set of language, right? And if you're in the finance world, there's a new languaging to it. Okay. So that's one thing. And it's a triad. It's like a triangle. Think of a triangle. Change your language, change your physiology. Okay. Change. So the whole thing of going up and ringing the bell or having weighing. And when you weigh and you do a booty dance and you change your, like, there's an actual physiological movement to that. Okay. And then, so that it's change your language, change your physiology, or use anything from the senses. So like, it could be the song, like what Katie said. So do a booty dance to the song. And even if you maintain your weight, but it's celebration is so, and then the third part is that will give you a new meaning. And when we have a new meaning, that keeps us on track with accountability, that keeps us on track with continuing the change, that keeps us on track with maintaining the change. And it's really, it's putting a tattoo, just like my tattoo like this, you're putting a tattoo in your system, and you're changing the mitochondria of your cell and the neurological pathways of why you're doing what you're doing. So I'm a huge fan of celebrating, all the way down to my checklist for the day. It's very overwhelming looking, but when I cross it off, I'm like, woo woo, you know, like it is, it is important to celebrate because it helps you continue forward, because no one else is going to cheer you on, right? I mean, we're going to get a certain amount of likes, like what you said, but after a while, you have to be your own cheerleader. Anyway, sorry. When you said that, I was like, I have ideas.
No, I love it. I love it. I think that that's great. So get your mind going tonight, you guys, of ways that you can celebrate something that resonates with you and something that makes you feel happy and maybe a little childish. Like, you know, I've had a counselor say one time, you need to play more. You need to get on the ground and play with your daughter. You need to do things that actually make you happy, you know, because I was too structured. I was too like, oh, I got to do this and this and this and this. And I didn't allow myself to play or to dance or whatever. So that is the whole idea of rewiring your brain and changing those pathways. And you'll find that you just have a lot more joy, you know, in your life. So we want you guys as 5-star clients to not only see benefits physically, but also emotionally, spiritually. And I feel like, you know, as you change your health, you put better things in, we want to up level the other areas of our life too. So hopefully that kind of gets your mind going a little bit. On our website, I also wanted to let you know, we have a whole list of book recommendations. So if you're a reader and you want to dive in, we have a ton of books that we have read as coaches. We use them to talk here and teach you guys. And then I also put in the comments the one that Katie was talking about, Relentless Solution Focus. So read along with us and just fill your mind with a lot of positive, wonderful tools to help up level and change, right? Change your life for the good. Okay, Katie, do you want to wrap up with the giveaways and stuff?
Yeah, and I just had a couple reminders or announcements. Like Scarlett was mentioning, we do a Facebook challenge every month. A lot of you have participated. And those challenges vary from education or an actual challenge of like drinking more water, cutting out sugar. This is a way that you can re-engage and also be eligible for giveaways. We love to give you guys free stuff, those that are in our tribe. And we also give them to people that are wanting to learn more about our program. So invite your family and friends. We're going to do that on April 19th, right after Easter. So I know some of us are going to have a super clean Easter, but a lot of our friends and family who aren't used to this type of lifestyle, it'll be easier for them to hop on after Easter. No pun intended. Hop, get it. Anyway, okay. I wanted to announce that. And then I also wanted to announce, Christy and I were talking today. So Brittany, you don't know about this yet, but Christy is going to host a special workshop. I'm going to let her talk about it.
Master class.
Yes, a master class. Thank you. Will you tell just a little bit about it? And we are going to come up with a day and a time, but this is what it's going to be about.
Okay. Is my pillow like, is this? Okay. So Brittany, this all started with Brittany, you guys. I'm just joking. But no, really, as coaches, we're always thinking about accountability, because accountability is, you guys, is our number one fat burner. That is how, but you got to find the right type of accountability for you. I almost look at as accountability as like, go shop around for accountability. How Brittany was talking about how like there's different layers, there's different types of accountability. So we were talking about it as coaches the other day of just different ways we could integrate it, because it doesn't always look the same. And to be fully honest, as you go about your journey, it shouldn't always look the same. You should be switching it up so that you're always growing. There's more growth to it, whether it's a new book, it's a pod, it's a one-on-one with a coach, if it's diving deeper with your coach and going one-on-one versus less group, all this kind of stuff. And so moving forward, I'm going to hold a master class. We haven't announced the date yet, but be looking in Coach's Corner. We'll be announcing it, but it's on the importance of sharing your story, the importance of knowing your story, how to figure out your story. And when you start figuring out your story, just like Scarlett, for example, Scarlett, I hope you're okay saying it again, but like how she decided to go sober, you guys, that's a timestamp in her life. That's a huge Like when we know our timeline, that's what helps us develop our story. And when we know our story, we know why we're doing it. And it really changes not only your results, your accountability, it up levels your fat loss, it up levels your, let's say you reached your body weight. It helps you have a deeper reason for maintaining your weight. And then that's when it starts changing your family. And then it starts changing the cousins and the nieces and the generational change. When there's an actual story and you actually know why you're doing what you're doing, it doesn't mean you have to go post it all over social media, but we're going to go over all those details. All I can tell you is that what it will do for you is it will up level what you're experiencing right now. And when you not only learn how to share it and how to figure out your story, but who to share it with, the right people to share it with, the right timing. And that's what we're going to learn in the masterclass is understanding your story, storytelling, and how it will help you change, up level your fat loss and up level if you've already reached your goal weight, how it will up level and make your maintenance lifestyle more exciting. So we'll be announcing more details on that. And I hope you guys all come.
Yes, come. It'll be awesome. And Christy will bring her awesome pillow. Oh man. Okay, just to wrap up then, I'm going to do a couple giveaways. And Christy requested these giveaways. So maybe I'll let you talk about it. But the first one is our On Guard mouthwash. It will probably cost me more to ship this than to actually buy it. But anyway, Christy, let's hear about, I'll just tell why I love this mouthwash.
Okay.
For me, I won't go into like all the science behind it, but it is really good for your gums. And Christy will touch on that. I use it as my little wake up call. I struggle with mornings. I'm more wired to be a night owl. Anyway, so to wake up in the morning, I will swish with this. It's like a major wake up call. But Christy, why do you love it?
Well, and just back to the masterclass, we can change your languaging and we can change your story, which will change your mornings, which will change your kids' mornings and your generational mornings. I'm just joking. Okay. Why I love that mouthwash is because I had elementary school teachers ask me what I had my kids brush their teeth with because my kids had the best breath. And do you want to know what a compliment that is as a mama? That is like, I'm like, that's my kid. He has good breath. So then I started giving it away to the school teachers. And I love it because for Christmas. You never knew the story?
No.
Oh, it was in Idaho. Yeah. Landon's 4th grade teacher. And then someone else I don't know if it was Chase's. I don't know if it was a school teacher, but yeah, it was Landon's 4th grade teacher. And it was like the biggest compliment. I was like, my kid has good breath. Because most kids when they're younger. Anyway, and I love it just because Brittany really got me into oil pulling. If you don't know about oil pulling, ask Brittany. She's a good representative of it, but I'll do it with my oil pulling. And I've been really dedicated to it. I've had a lot of dental situations the past 2 years. And I'm working through those situations with that mouthwash and it makes it so much better.
Okay, so how are we going to do this? Who would like to try the mouthwash? Should we start with that? So you either have to put yes or raise your hand. Brittany, since I'm on my phone, I can't see everyone, but how do you feel about that option?
Yeah. Who wants to try the mouthwash? Beverly Ann, Megan, who else? No one? Negative? Do you guys know how to raise your hand in the thing? Oh, Morgan, yes. Okay. Well, Robin and Lynanne say how amazing it is. Casey has it and loves it. Okay, so it looks like let's have Beverly Ann, Morgan, Megan pick your number. You want to do that?
Oh yeah, do you want me to text you the number? Or put it in the chat?
Yeah.
directly to you. I'm gonna DM it. I'm gonna put the number 1 through 15.
Okay. So Beverly Ann, Megan, Morgan, anyone else who decided that they would like to try the mouthwash, text in the chat your guess of a number between 1 through 15. Ready, go. Okay. Morgan, what's your guess? Now we'll see who's closest. Okay.
I'm doing 6.
6. Okay, so the number was 15 and Megan guessed 12. So she is the closest. Megan?
Hey, I will send you, if I'll reach out to you. Well, I'll figure out how to get your address. If you could text it to Brittany, she'll forward it to me. How's that?
I think Brittany has it, but I will text it to her again.
Okay. All right, our next giveaway, and this is from Christy again. One of her favorite products. It's one of my favorite products too. It's the On Guard toothpaste. It helps with sensitivity, teeth sensitivity, and also your gums. Christy, what else do you want to say about it?
I just freaking love that stuff, you guys. Like, I love all things On Guard. Like, if I don't have On Guard, I start stressing out. Like, if I don't have the On Guard oil, if I don't have On Guard mouthwash, like, I feel like I don't have groceries in the house. That's it. That's all I got for you.
The toothpaste has hydroxyapatite, which is, it's almost like what they thought fluoride was in the dental world, right? It's like the new push for, and it's actually healthy. So hydroxyapatite is an ingredient that you will see in more natural toothpaste that are trying to actually remineralize the teeth and support them. And it's a really great ingredient. So doTERRA did a good job of adding that in.
Wow, I feel even better about it. So it has the On Guard, it has myrrh, which we all know myrrh is an awesome essential oil. And then whatever word Brittany just said. That's why we love Brittany. And then I do have to add, I love how it's super smooth. So like when I switch back to another toothpaste, say I'm traveling and I don't have it with me or whatever, other toothpaste is like gritty. So I like the consistency of it. So let's give a bottle of it away.
Okay. Another thing too, you guys, toothpaste can have food dye in it. Like the kid toothpaste, like blue and full of sugar. So, I mean, it's just good. My daughter uses it. She complains a little bit that it's too spicy, but I just make her use it and she's gotten used to it. So that's my parenting style. So
okay,
don't judge
who would like a bottle of toothpaste? We'll just, for the sake of time, if you want a bottle, you'll just participate in this. I'm going to send Brittany the number real quick and we're going to go 1 through 20.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll just go for it.
Okay, 1 through 20. Put it in the chat. Ready, go. And I'll see who gets it. So keep guessing until I say stop. Oh, stop.
Oh, Scarlett.
Scarlett, the number was 1. Hey, Scarlett. You get toothpaste.
The toothpaste is the best, and I'm almost out.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, try the toothpaste, try the mouthwash. Another thing too, we're not really going into 6 season, but when we are, and when we were talking about COVID and all this stuff, oral health is very, very important to your immune system, right? Because the oral mucosa is the first stop for bugs and things. So anyway, if you can keep your mouth clean, they have done a lot of studies that show you will be healthier if you have better oral care. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So, all right, congrats, you guys. We are going to say our goodbyes. If you need or want more accountability, remember, get with your coach, be watching for dates of Christy's mastermind group about sharing your story. And then April 19th, we will do another Facebook challenge that you can invite your friends or family to. And obviously participate in as well. And we'll post the link to that little Facebook group on Slack. So thank you again for joining us. I hope you guys learned something. I hope that you will celebrate the wins and remember to give yourself that little hit of dopamine with the confetti. Okay. Okay. Have a good night, you guys. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
See you guys.